On this episode of Get That Bread, we are going to do an oil change on the Ford Ranger. And you're probably wondering, why on earth is he filming himself do an oil change? Well, do not tell anyone, but this is the first time I've ever done an oil change.
What did he say?
Which might sound like shock horror to people. Why has this guy never done an oil change? Well, when I owned the Nav in the past, it was under warranty, so literally just take it in to get it serviced and all that sort of stuff. When I bought the Ranger, I did tell myself that I'll be the one that sort of keeps on top of the servicing and all that sort of stuff, and if something breaks, I want to be the one that fixes it. I'm a little bit nervous about doing the oil change on the Ranger. What I'm hoping is that we'll look back on this video and go, hey, remember that time you changed oil for the first time? That'll be during a video when we're doing an engine swap or something crazy like that. So yeah, if you're watching this, you're witnessing the beginning of something greater. But anyway, taking the Ranger for a bit of a lap around the block just to heat up the oil and everything so it's a bit thinner. So on the Rangers, they've got a vane oil pump which are prone to failing. There's a bunch of videos online showing you that you have to do the oil change within 10 minutes. Otherwise, if you lose oil pressure within the pump itself, it'll the vanes inside that pump will fail, and then you'll lose oil pressure, which is a bad time for your motor, and we don't want that. So it's a little bit daunting. But in my vast amount of research leading up to making this video, apparently you can do the oil filter first, which doesn't count towards that whole 10 minutes sort of thing. So we'll do the oil filter first, we'll drain the oil, top it up, start it up straight away, and fingers crossed we don't lose pressure. Let me show you what I bought. All right, so just went to Supercheap and got some oil. Now everything online says use 5W30. I was on the Castrol website and it said apparently 0W30 is better, and that's what they had at Supercheap, so I got it. It even specifically on here calls out, where is it? So it can be used in blah 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 Toyota diesel models including Hilux, Land Cruiser Prado and others. Those Ford Ranger PX Series 2. So it specifically calls out the PX2 on it. So this will either be a complete flop and I'll destroy everything, or 0W30 will work. Let me know down below if I've done something completely wrong by going 0W30 instead of 5W30. And I've just grabbed a Ryco filter kit that you can get as well for your specific cars. So we'll do the cabin filter while we're at it. Shouldn't be too hard. We've got the fuel filter, the oil filter, and then we've got an air filter as well. And you're probably wondering, Chris, why did you not do this when you bought the car? I don't know. I was in my comfort zone, just did things that I've already done on previous vehicles. So yeah, it's time to get out of the comfort zone and yeah, start doing more mechanical stuff. First things first, let's do this oil filter. And I also grabbed an oil pan and some degreaser as well whilst I was there. So we'll make sure this is underneath the filter when I take it out, because that's going to drop a bit of oil. And then just got a bunch of rags as well. So. There's probably going to be some people watching just thinking, man, this guy has no idea. And you're right. All right, so now we've got this out of the way. Let's sit it back down here. We have the oil filter housing sitting in there. So that's it right there. So this video is going to end before it even begins, because I don't even have a big enough socket to go on that. So that must be well, it's bigger than 24 mil. I think that's the biggest size I have.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, we are back from Bunnings. I have the goods 27 mil socket in hand. Alright, let's do this again. It's probably going to be hot as balls as well, because I just drove the car. There goes the oil, great. Yep, hot as balls. All right, there is our filter. Alright, we've got our old oil filter here. Okay, you just pull it out and you put oil all over the ground. Great. Excellent. Alright, got our old oil filter here. I mean, everything seems fine. Don't know really what I'm looking at. There's a bit of oil sitting in the bottom of that. So I'll just make sure we get rid of that as well. Around the bottom of the thread here, you'll see the seal. Now, I'm pretty sure the new one comes with a new seal. Where is it? Let's find out. New filter comes with new seal, so we'll make sure we chuck that in. Chuck that one in the bin. Just gonna make sure where that was sitting is nice and clean, ready for the new one. An O-ring or O-ring kit is supplied with this filter. Replace every O-ring with the equivalent O-ring provided. Apply a film of clean oil to any replacement O-ring prior to installation. Be sure to place the new O-ring in the correct groove on the filter housing or cap. Torque the housing cap to meet your car manufacturer's specifications. Failure to follow these critical steps may result in loss of oil and engine damage. Alright, it's looking way cleaner in there, so new filter we will chuck in. Now, before the writing was on the top, it looks like it doesn't really matter which way you chuck it in, but do what was done before. So it just sits in there. Now before I chuck that back in, I'm going to put some new oil around that seal. Now there is a torque setting for that, which I am going to quickly Google. Alright, so according to Google it's 23 Newton meters. That is that done. I'm just going to smash that with a bit of degreaser to try and get the oil off. I got the home brand version of this thing. It's like $80, but we'll see if it's able to capture what it needs to. Alright, let's pull pants up and figure out which bash plate's gonna come off. Alright, so we have access to what we need to now. So the 10-minute timer starts. God, I hope you can see this on the camera. 10-minute timer starts from when we undo this bad boy right here. Before I drain that out, I'm gonna get everything set up at the front. So now, let's get ready to drain. Good job, Chris. You've just spilt everything everywhere. Losing everything. Yeah. All right. That is draining really well there now. I thought for sure I was going to lose that in the bucket. Not sure if you could hear it on the microphone, but that's getting quite low. And before it gets completely empty, I am get the old on, plug this back in, chuck my hat back on, which is now going to be destroyed from the oil. Got enough for now. And let's make our way back out. Almost lost my camera in there. don't know if you guys can see that, but that's looking pretty bang on. It's full. Okay, so before we start celebrating, let us start the vehicle. Just making sure nothing is leaking, which is great. Please, for the love of God, start. Okay. Sounds like it's working. Just making sure I can't see anything obviously leaking out of what I've done. So I'm just going to let that run for a couple of minutes, but we're looking good. No oil lights or anything, nothing's leaking. I don't know what to look for when it comes to like understanding if your oil is still good or not, but this is about 1,000 Ks overdue for a service. But I mean, it just looks like dirty oil. Feels okay. I don't have a magnet to like check if there's any metal in it or anything, but I mean, like, it feels alright. It feels like what oil should feel like, based on my understanding of oil. I don't know, take that with a grain of salt. This is what we ended up with. I mean, looks like oil. It's dark as, feels real slippy still. Two things I will invest in after doing this is a measuring jug, so I'm not just guesstimating off the side of the oil drum, and a magnet, so I can like see if anything's floating around at the bottom of that. But yeah, you want to make sure there's no metal or anything sitting in there. But I mean, it seems fine. Car started up again, no oil lights or anything, so happy days. Let's move on to fuel filter. While we have the bonnet open. Here is your fuel filter on the PX2. It's got a red clip and a blue clip. One says tank, one says engine, so let's make the safe assumption that one comes from the fuel tank and one goes to the engine.
One eternity later.
I am not proud of how freaking long that took, but we have our plugs off. Quite a bit of fuel actually pissed out and dropped down, so hopefully that doesn't cause any problems in the future. So on the bottom there is just an electrical cable there, so that'll be for like a sensor or something like that. So now we can undo this part here. Got our new one here ready to go. Now here's the old one. See, I'm just going to be dropping diesel everywhere. Good times. How does this come out? Do you spin out? Oh my god, there we go. So that is out. I'm assuming we can just chuck the new one in. Right, let's just go with that. And we need to get the seal off here without spilling fuel everywhere. New one goes on. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with that other one, but might as well use the new one. My camera ran out of battery, but I ended up figuring out how to get the fuel filter back together. Chucked it back in the Ranger. Alright, so we finally got the fuel filter in. So what I've done a couple of times is just got the fuel pump priming, just to fill up all those lines again and everything. Let's do one more for good luck. Alright, let's see how we go. The last two filters in the kit were the air filter and the cabin filter. The air filter was easy enough to change out. The old one was pretty dusty by the looks of things. And the cabin filter did take me a stupid amount of time to figure out how to open the case that it sits in, but again was pretty dusty and was definitely time for a change. Alright, we're back on phone cam, finished off the change, and I went for a quick drive and everything, and all is good. So there's no obvious leaks or anything happening that I can see or anything like that, which is great. Pretty pumped at the fact that I was able to do that. So tick, first oil change ever done. Yeah, let's bookmark this and get that bread history and look back at this one day when we do something crazy like an engine swap or something like that. So maybe this will inspire somebody else to have a crack at servicing their own car or doing an oil change or something. But so thanks for sticking around. You'll notice below that I've turned on memberships as well for the channel. Shout out to our one and only member, Ben G. What a legend. Any money made from memberships goes directly back into the channel. So what you get access to is videos get uploaded earlier to members, and I'm thinking about doing some member only shorts and like just little in-between videos and things like that. So if that interests you and you want to support the channel, that option is there down below. I'm rambling now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.